IVM.
So it's been another great week at IVM Podcast, and if you aren't following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the major social media networks. This week on the Pragati Podcast, Pawan and Hamsini talked to economist Anupam Manur about how India is tackling creating new jobs. On the Pulyabazi show, tune into part 2 of Pranay's interview with China expert Manoj Keval Ramani. On Simplified in a Shorty, Shrikesh, Chuck and Naren give interesting tidbits about the qualifying round of the 2018 World Cup. On Cyrus Says this week, Cyrus has a conversation with friend of the network Vivek Kaul about the economy. On Who's Your Mommy, Veda and her friends discuss the strange and disturbing questions they've been asked by their kids. On Keeping It Queer, Naveen talks to non-binary Instagram sensation Dan Rebello. On Varta Lab last week, Akash and Naveen exchanged some hilarious stories with Balraj Ghai, owner of the Hotel Intercontinental and The Habitat. And with that, let me get you on to your shows.
Who is God? Do baby tomatoes have a father? And what happens to people when they die? And so in Dora the Explorer, what does explorer mean? These and other questions are a part of every mother's life because kids are curious and kids can't stop asking you questions. How to deal with them, how to answer them, how to save your sanity. We'll be discussing this on this week's episode of Who's Your Mommy. Joining me will be my friends Swati and Ketki. So come listen in on the other side. Hello and welcome to Who's Your Mommy? This is Veda and with me today are Ketki and Swati. I'm not going to introduce any of us today because all of us have been on this show before and, well, enough is enough now. So today we are going to be talking about, the IQ test that all of us have to face as mothers, otherwise known as random questions from kids. Guys, have you faced this?
Yes. Innumerable times, like every day, I would say. Every day.
Yeah, I totally get it because so do your kids do this thing where they will ask you a question and then if you don't answer it they will keep on asking it?
Yes.
So
endlessly,
like
endlessly.
What is
On
that
the
bird?
loop.
What is that bird? What is that bird?
Yeah.
It's like a stuck record.
Tell me na, it goes on.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. Remember, Swati, you mentioned that that bit from Stewie. What is it? Shit.
Yeah, that
Family Guy. Yes,
Murray.
yes. Yeah.
Murray.
Lois. So the same thing, but with questions like, what's that bird? What's that bird? What's that bird? What's that bird? Mama, what's that bird? And I mean, first of all, you don't know what that bird is.
Yes.
Second of all, you don't know whether to, just mess
Wing
with
it.
their heads. No,
Yeah.
mess with their head saying, oh, that black bird with the sharp beak,
Parrot.
that's a parrot. Like, you don't know whether you
so
will do that. I'm tempted, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're like my husband. My husband always wants to mess with his head. And I am the earnest mother because I desperately want him to make sense of the world and the universe.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm in equal parts both. So I want to mess with her head, but I end up saying, I don't know.
And the worst thing is, I'm so daft. So my husband will answer the wrong thing on purpose because he wants to take the boy's
Correct
case.
him or what?
I'm the one whose case gets taken. I never get it. That he's pulling a fast one on my son. And he's like, when even he gets it now. He starts laughing because he knows that I'm pulling his leg. But you're so daft that you never get it.
So what are the questions that you guys have been faced with?
Well, for example, yesterday we were reading Aesop's Fables.
Wow.
And there was a conversation about, of course, the point of the moral of the story of Aesop's, koi bhi usko samajh mein nahi aaya. He didn't get even one of them. But there was a wolf who was supposed to be eating a crane or some such. So he's like, why do they eat cranes? That's not a good thing. So I said, well, you eat other animals. I don't eat animals. So I said, you eat chicken. Chicken is a hen. Does it hurt them when we eat them? So I said, very much so. We're killing them. So of course they're getting hurt. Yeah, but they're so delicious. Wow. I really did not see that. I really thought we were going to,
that did not go in the direction we expected.
I thought we're at the beginnings of a vegan revolution. That's where it's going. But
What about you, Ketki?
So this conversation, I thought it was leading to another question that I have always faced.
which is
Like, why do people die? Why is the hen dying? Why is the fish dying? Who's killing them? Why are they killing them? What is wrong with the world? So suddenly this whole thing, the world is
this
not...
is a compassionate soul.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. And then she's like, oh, what happens to that fish now? I was like, then you fry the fish.
Correct. So we are not compassionate.
Yeah. Then you fry the fish. I was like, if you want to save the fish, we'll stop frying the fish. It's fine. So she's like, let me think about it.
So I think the vegan revolution is probably going to happen at your house.
I think
Not
so,
with
yeah.
that. Aggie, in fact, yesterday he was. So he's not. So we're all mothers, as Veda and I have earlier discussed. We're all mothers who've read too much.
Yeah.
And therefore we have too much. We should do role play when the child cannot resolve conflict and all that. So he says. So he's hitting me. So I said, if you keep hitting me, I'm going to hit you. At some point, I'm going to hit you. And I don't intend to do it, but I have every intention of at least making him think about how he would feel if I hit him and all of that jazz. So he says, okay, let's play that game. I'm like, what? He's like, I'll hit you and you cry. Okay? I'm like, this is not going the way I want. There's no empathy happening here with this child.
No, but so the thing is, what you guys have described, my daughter is like one level ahead of that, okay? Because she keeps giving me like exorcist vibes.
Ooh.
Yeah, because she will ask me questions like, Mama, if we kill a rabbit, how much blood will come out? I'm like, why do you want to know? Like, why? Okay, same thing. Will it get hurt? And I'm like, yeah, it'll get very badly hurt. Why do you want to kill a rabbit? That question she will not answer. She'll just move on to the next one. So if we hit a cat with a knife, will blood come out? I was like, why are you asking me this? Like, this. I
will be watching Ira's career very deeply.
I'm thinking either like some kind of like science faculty
Medical
which involves like dissecting animals, or just like a life of like crime.
She can probably answer these questions when her kids ask her how much blood will come out. 2 liters.
Precisely.
Yeah,
I've measured.
Thank you. Now I'm deeply scared and I won't be able to sleep at night, Ketki. Thank you very much.
But give them these vague answers, okay? Confuse the F out of them and you're sorted.
No, dude, she doesn't accept vague answers. She will ask me questions like till the curiosity has been completely sort of.
But I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool thing, right? I know they sound like little monsters.
No,
and you're worried.
No. See, the thing is, like, there have been times when she asks me questions that really makes me think about the world, okay?
Right.
Like, I've posted about this also, that once she asked me, we were just going to go for a vacation or something, and she asked me, Mama, so why do boys go into the swimming pool wearing only chaddis, and why do girls have to wear a swimming pool swimsuit? And I was going to say, so I started answering, and then I realized I have no idea.
There is no valid answer.
The only answer is because ... society. Yeah. there is no answer.
There's no answer.
And then
why do short-haired girls have to wear caps when boys don't?
No, so my point was that they are 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever. At this age, how does it matter what a child wears into a swimming pool, right? Like, I mean,
later either,
but see, that's a different conversation. But I'm saying that later, at least like socially accepted norms, whatever. But if a child wants to go into the pool wearing just like swimming trunks, it shouldn't be that much of an issue.
Right.
And so I very cleverly sidestepped the question, and I said, see, that's how people are. But if you want to wear a chaddi and go to this pool, it's fine. We'll get you like a swimming chaddi. Would you like to wear a chaddi? She's like, no, I like my swimsuit. I want to wear my swimsuit only, but I just wanted to know why. Like,
wow, that's very interesting.
So Arya startled me with this question one day. It was like, so now that Saili Masi is married, will she have a baby? I was like, no, you don't have to be married to have a baby.
Yeah.
And my mother was in the same room. My mother was questioning my upbringing. She's like, where did I go wrong in raising this child? Why is she giving us such answers? And she's like, so then how will the baby come out if Saili Masi is not married? I was like, it has nothing to do with marriage. Oh, so does this happen in the hospital? I was sometimes in the hospital, sometimes not. She's like, but tell me how it's done. I was like, it's a very complicated process. Yeah. You need to learn science a little bit more.
That's the biggest thing. So what do you do?
Yeah.
So with me, like, I am somewhere, there is the, down to diagrams and moving parts model of sex education, and there's they will get to know in due time, be honest but don't get graphic model of answering sex related questions. I'm this incredibly poor, inconsistent jumble of both.
True.
So, like right now, I don't have a policy to answer those questions. Like he said, he looked at, for example, our wedding pictures, and he goes, "Why wasn't I there, Mama?
Yeah.
You had a party. Why wasn't I there?" I was
Yeah.
like, "You weren't made yet, you know." so he's like, "Why wasn't I made? Didn't you miss me?" And I'm like, "How do we answer this? Where do I go with this?" And he's like, and he knows, I've told him that you came out of my tummy and all that, and so he'll be like, "But how does that happen?" And I don't know how to answer it exactly because I don't know if 3.5 is really
The right,
young.
yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, it is.
The good way of dealing that is, I guess, at least for me, was don't give them the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Tell them roughly how things happen, but don't get into the
Yeah,
details
so
of it.
I do the mummy and daddy loved each other very much, and we wanted you, and therefore you were born.
Yeah.
I went through
such a con job. Like
No, I went through like a spiritual route, and it backfired very badly.
Spiritual route to
Yeah.
reproduction.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So I basically told her that, your mama and papa, we loved each other very much, and we really wanted a baby. And at that time, where was I at that time? I was like, you were sitting up in heaven,
clouds, yes.
up in the clouds with God, and then God asked you, "Do you want to go to that mama, papa?" And you said yes, and so He sent you to us.
How lovely.
Yeah, no,
Nice story.
I'm
Very nice.
I'm so apparently according to the Buddhists, a child chooses the parents that
Quite
it is
fun,
born
oh,
to.
quite fun,
So
yeah.
I'm like, mera theory barabar hai. So
Amazing.
it's cool. So anyway, so that's what I told her, and then she said that then immediately next day the question was, so what happens when people die? So then I had to I was like, I will build on this spirituality stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's the problem with building a benevolent God and all of that, because somewhere the logic of it will skewer you.
No, so this is what happened. So I told her that, after you die, you go back to God, and then you become a baby again, and then you get born again. So, because like Hindu, whatever. But, so
We got
so
reincarnation.
I told her that, and she accepted the explanation, and then she's like, if I get hurt and if I die, then I will go back to God and I will become a baby and I will come back to you. I was like, no, wait, that is not how this works. You go to some other parents. And then she was like completely shattered. She's like,
Obsessed.
I don't want to go to other parents. I want to come back to you. And then I was like, okay, this did not go the way I planned. And then it got even more complicated because at some point, I think one of her great-grandmothers passed away.
Oh.
She asked me, why did she die? So I said, because she was very, very old. So she's like, so when people get very, very old, they die?
They die,
I said, yes. And then she said, so you will also die? And I was like, yeah, but not for a long time, I hope. and then her face just crumpled and she's like, okay.
Oh, poor thing.
And I was like, oh my God, you're trying to deal with like such a big thing and you're such a tiny person.
It's
That's
very
profound. Like my son is so he's so matter-of-factly about all this. And I struggle with so I am largely a believer in the tough love school of information sharing.
So sab bata do.
Matlab the harsher things up front. Life is not fair. People die. There is no purpose.
Wow. Like, Aggie is such a lucky boy.
So the point is, I struggle with that. I struggle because, for example, if I am an atheist, now that is something I reached as an argument.
Sure.
So to me, it is a question that when children are asking questions about God, and your belief system is opposite, there is no God for me.
Yeah.
Is it fair for me to be answering that question?
It's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I right now I do a bit of a waffle, which is that I say that Mama doesn't really think there is. But for example, Dadi believes there is, Nani believes there is. So we don't know who's correct.
But that's
and you can find out.
So, tell me, you guys, have you been at the receiving end of the why question, the why game?
Yeah.
Do this. Why? Because so and so. Why?
Yeah.
But because I'm telling you, why? And I blame Peppa Pig for this. Have you guys watched Peppa Pig? He does this episode where George does this, and now I'm kind of subject
Yuck.
to it.
I blame George for teaching my son to say yuck. I'm like,
I
that's
know.
a horrifying word.
I
Do
know.
not say
And she
yuck.
uses it for food, and I'm
It
like,
makes me
no.
so okay, shake hands on that. Like, I get so angry. I'm like, you do not say yuck to food.
Yeah.
We are Indian middle class people. We do not say yuck to food.
I cannot believe. So I have basically become my mother, and I'm telling her about starving children.
Children, correct.
Yeah.
Like there are children who don't have
Achha,
food,
so you
who
have
don't
children.
have water.
We used to have. My mother used to say, "इतने खाने में कितनी चिड़िया खाना खा लेती."
Acha, nahi, we
So
starving
we
kids in
starving
Africa.
chidiya.
Starving kids in Africa, starving kids in India, starving kids worldwide.
I think I'm the worst. When she says yuck to food, I just take the food away from her.
No, that's very smart.
Yeah, because
Hey,
I
like
tell her, you
that.
don't like it? Fine. And again, if you ask for it, I'm not giving it to you.
That's
so
a
either
smart
you
idea.
accept the food that's put in front of you and you eat it without saying yuck, or just starve. Just stay hungry.
No, I do. So
That's
I,
a bright idea.
Yeah.
No, I told you
gonna
now. I
try it.
threaten her with milk because she hates milk. So I'm like, okay, I will accept this, that you don't like milk and you don't want milk. But now, if I'm giving you something that is not milk, you better bloody have it, or I'm going to take it away and give you milk. What is it going to be? Milk or this food? And then she chup chap eats it.
Lesser evil.
Yeah. So no, but this why thing, no, I have countered it with my own devious solution, which is because. So if she says why, I say because, and I stop, and then she's like, why? Because. She's like, don't say because everything. Then you stop saying why.
Good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this.
My approach to it is broadly that I will just so it's not as clever as Veda's, but it's the grumpy unwitty mum's response, which is I just turn around and walk away.
Because the response because I'm telling you that never works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, every time she asks me, something about the way I'm dealing with things, and she's like, but why do I have to do this? Ever since she was a child, I have reasoned it out to her. See, because if you don't eat this, then you will not become strong. If you are not strong, then you will not be able to jump. If you are not able to jump, how will you become Wonder Woman? So, basic things like that. But my husband is like, why are you reasoning?
Yeah.
Why? What is this explanation? Just tell her. She's supposed to listen to you. You're not supposed to have to, justify yourself. I'm like, that makes complete sense, but I can't do that because I'm a wuss. So, therefore, I will reason.
My husband does the clever version of it. He'll come up with a really funny. I mean, you have to be funny intrinsically to be able to do that. Therefore, that is not something I can do because he's good at it. He'll come up with a completely wild and wicked explanation that makes Aggie feel like he's being so cool by listening to his daddy. And I obviously will never do that because I'm too earnest. I'll be like, because don't you understand the idealism of what I'm asking you to do?
So no, my husband does the exact opposite. She asks her why, and he's like, what will happen if you don't do this? And then she has to answer. So she arrives at the answer herself.
That's very clever.
So but you need a lot of patience for that. I lose my patience at the drop of a hat.
I think
okay?
primary
I'm like,
child caregivers do not have the patience for that
Yeah.
platonic ideal of rhetoric.
Yeah, because we worry about, is the food done yet? Is it bedtime?
Yeah.
What if she doesn't sleep on time? She won't wake up in the morning and I'll be late to work. So he just sits with her for hours answering that one question. So I guess he's better off.
No, wait, whatever works.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think both parents, after a while, I think in the beginning I tried to get everybody to get with the program.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That this is how everybody march to this tune. This is how we are raising this child. Then after a while I understood that that's quite idiotic because we are two parents for a reason.
Yeah.
And he's getting both parents at home.
Yeah.
So he should get two different personalities. So my husband will continue to con him. And that is good. He's learning to get conned.
Yeah, no, but whatever approach works, I
Yeah.
mean, so the thing is also when you all watch television or movies or whatever, do your children do they interrupt you and ask you for explanations? Because my daughter she's become like my mom. When I was younger and I used to be watching a movie, my mom used to come in the middle of the movie and say, who's that? And what is ये उसका कौन है? And अभी क्या हो रहा है? And
My dad does that.
Is it a war? What is happening? Is it a different plan? I was like, why are you coming in the middle and asking me?
Why do you care? Yeah.
No, I'm like, ठीक है, you come, you watch, you figure out.
And can't you wait till the movie gets over? Just
So my dad is that. अच्छा, क्या बात कर रहे हो? क्या बात कर रहे थे? अच्छा, I'm like, how do you care? We've been having that conversation for half an hour and you don't know anything about the context.
So Arya wants to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
She's like, what will happen now? Is he going to die?
Yeah.
Oh, are they going to get married? Hey, they're running away. They'll fall now. What will happen? So yeah, she has to know what's happening next.
Yeah, no, so Ira wants backstory. That's
Oh.
so she's like, who is this? Where is he from? What is his name? Is he good or is he bad?
Oh, that's
is this a
interesting.
scary movie?
Yeah.
So as a result of all this incessant questioning, she basically knows all the characters of like in the Marvel universe now.
Yeah.
So yeah, she knows like, okay, this is Thor and this is whatever. And like even in DC, like this is Flash and he wears red clothes and he's very fast. And this man, no, he used to kind of his father was like a god and he lives in the sea and like nonsense stuff. And my husband, I think when he is watching all this stuff, right, he is so absorbed that he doesn't even realize he's answering her questions. So that day he comes to me and he's like, listen, how does Ira know who Aquaman is? I was like, you told him. Like, I'm not going to sit down and give her like Aquaman freaking origin story. It's you. He's like, no, I didn't say that. I was like, what is wrong with you? She's not like some kind of psychic who knows these things suddenly out of nowhere. So and by virtue of having two nerd parents, so now and like a curious mind, she now knows the characters of Lord of the Rings and Marvel. I'm like, you realize you are raising a geek, right? Like, I mean, just so you know. But yeah.
So with Aggie, he's not interested in any backstory. He's very much the man of the moment. He's happy to join the story wherever it is. And he is living proof of the fact that violence in media impacts children. because he will watch it and he will say, oh, why is this man beating up that man? And we're like, no, that is a good man beating up a bad man. Change the channel.
No, but this good and bad thing even Ira is going through. She's like, so what do good people do? Do they hit bad people? And what do bad people do to good people?
And you know that none of this works. Because when you actually start explaining, it's all ludicrous.
Yeah, you're just lying to them and saying things like, bad people just like, they just chill and hang and, like.
Yeah, that's what you're telling. Bad people chill and hang.
I didn't know because when I tell her, when I tell her,
chill and hang also sometimes.
No, when I tell her that bad people hurt good people. How? I'm not going to give you ideas. What is it? Like, how?
So Arya goes to the basics. She's like, why is he bad? Like, what makes him the bad guy and what makes the other guy the good guy? Because the other guy is also beating him. That makes him the bad guy as well.
That, okay, yeah.
So that's a very basic question because I keep telling her that you are not supposed to hit other kids. And her father keeps telling her, if other kids hit you, hit them back. Yeah. So it is very, in her head, it's like, if I hit, I'm the bad person. So why are you calling that person who's hitting him? Why is he a good person? Then I can hit. Yeah. So yeah, for her, it's like, you have to explain me why he's good. Or why he's bad.
So, I'm judging from all of these questions. I mean, clearly you guys are also going through the same stuff that I am. I had once come across a Terry Pratchett quote where he's like, parents should have to give some kind of exam before they're allowed to become parents and not just the practical. Because look at it, we are discussing theology, we are discussing morality, we are discussing all of this, and it's not like we are experts in the field,
Ethics,
okay? We are just kind of
okay,
this seems to make sense now.
Let's
so
do
this.
this.
This is your explanation.
Yeah, let's approximately go in that direction.
Yeah,
maybe.
so it terrifies me how clueless we are because clearly our parents were equally clueless.
Yeah.
Like, look at our belief systems.
Very
like,
honestly,
seriously.
our parents were more clueless.
Yeah, so
Let's face it.
Yeah, because my mom is like, why you explain everything to us so much? I didn't have the patience for this. I was
we
like, I
take
know.
this
Like the
responsibility upon
personhood
us,
of children is a very recent phenomena.
Yeah, no, but it's like we're raising them with like this mishmash of, half-baked knowledge and just, hunches at the most. But yeah, so cool. Clearly all of us are answering questions we don't have answers to and like winging it, which is what most of parenthood is. But hey, if you also have been kind of faced with weird questions from children, let us know what answers you have given them, because you never know, we might or some other parent somewhere might find solace in that. So tweet to us at IVM Podcast using the hashtag Who's Your Mommy and let us know. And this has been Who's Your Mommy, clearly, with Veda and Ketki and Swati. Bye-bye.
But why?
For more such awesome podcasts, check out IVM's website or download the app. New episodes out every week on the IVM Podcast website, app, or any place that you check out podcasts.
He bends down to test the warm water for his bath. He comes here to quench his thirst for a hot shower and some podcasts. You can witness how he enjoys having other people talk about cool stuff in his bathroom. Indeed, it helps him with his loneliness. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcast.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.